I'm the scat man. I wish I knew the lyrics to that song.
Skibidi-bidi-bidi-bup-up. I know that.
What do you think? I know he raps for a bit, but what do you think like scat notation looks like? How do you even do that? Or maybe you just don't do that. Maybe that's the thing.
Maybe you just have written at the bottom scat.
And then scat for a while.
And then scat happens.
It's like reading at a script or reading a part of a script that just says and improv from here on. No. Okay. I guess I'll just do that then.
Or ones that, like, if someone's speaking in a foreign language and the show doesn't actually subtitle the foreign language, so, like, if you watch the subtitles for the English language, it'll just say, and then foreign stuff, or, like, foreign noises.
Yeah. Speaking in foreign language. That's the best subtitle, because it's like, oh, you're
inaudible grunting.
Not even going to translate that? You're just going to, like... You're just gonna let me chill with foreign language, speaking Japanese?
Imagine you watch a subtitled anime, but it's not subtitled to, like, the person doesn't know Japanese, so they just, throughout the entire episode, like, foreign language.
You know, I tried to watch the episode of Iruma, but it just says foreign language the whole time, so... I don't really know what was going on.
I didn't know what happened.
Are there any shows that you think we've watched that would still, like, work, that we could still handle with no subtitles?
Any shows that we've watched that we could handle with no subtitles? Yes. There has to be one. Hang on, I'm just looking at our video list to see if I can get a little inspiration. Because there are some where X-Arm. It doesn't fucking matter if I know the plot to that.
Yeah. I feel like not having subtitles would have benefited X-Arm because we wouldn't have to wonder what was going on in the plot. We could just be like, they must have a direction with this. Like, they've got
I feel like any show that the plot didn't really matter to us, we didn't need subtitles for.
Magical Girl Spec Ops. I think we could have handled that.
I cared about the plot.
What even was the oh no, that's not true because the plot was 80s action movies.
80s action movie where evil lesbian magic girl is trying to send Russian mercenaries after her.
Yeah. You know what? That does matter.
I could probably have made it through all of the Day I Became God without knowing the plot because I would have just felt better. I'm like, there was probably something really deep that happened here.
Wow, what an emotionally affecting...
Oh man, I bet if I could understand this, I would probably, like, cry.
I can stand with you on that one.
To the Abandoned Sacred Beasts, I don't think I cared about anything except the fights in that.
I don't think there really was much of a plot and anything...
Actually, all you needed to know was that Hank is on a revenge mission. And that's it. Just like, right, he's looking for other beast dudes, and he found it. They're yelling at each other. Then they fought. Hank won.
Yeah, that feels like a context clues mission, or a context clues show.
Yeah, you don't need to know anything else.
I can get down with that.
Yeah, so you don't. So that just goes to show you, you don't need to know everything. You don't. But you do need to know everything in transitioning into the actual shows we're supposed to be talking about. 86.
Yeah, the plot is very good and very important in 86.
The show is so fucking good.
I also like
this episode was so fucking good.
I love how last week I said we're probably not going to get any more 86 perspective. And then this entire fucking episode is all 86 perspective. All of it. Thanks. Thanks, 86. You pumped out a real good episode, but one that made me look like a jackass.
Yeah, well, you know.
It's how it is.
I guess, because we only have one episode left, I guess maybe we won't see the Republic get fucked.
Maybe? Probably not. I do know that this episode made me sad for the one character that I never thought about their mortality. Fido.
Oh,
Fido.
Yeah, dude, there's so much I want to talk about with this episode. It was so good.
Let's take a chomper right into it.
First of all, this episode kind of made me realize this is something I would rather watch than read. Because there was not a lot of dialogue in this episode, and you could tell that, I don't know, if this was a book, I'd feel like this would be a lot quicker. Because obviously, as a show or an adaptation, they can control the pace of it a lot better.
Right.
Whereas you would just probably blow through a description of what the town was like. That'd probably be about like a single chapter of like the place they went.
I liked getting to see it. Like, getting to actually... I don't know. I feel like being able to watch it or getting an actual visual from the...
And the direction is good. It's not like they just do good backgrounds. There's good shot composition.
Yeah. I'd say
it's not just like, oh, they drew a pretty picture. It's like, no, they had like a lot of good ways things are shot.
Exactly. I think that's one of the strongest points consistently.
I like that shot where you see him talking to Shin and Shin's reflection in like the puddle, and it's all like blurred and obscured.
Yeah.
They know really what they're doing. Love the ending sequence.
Oh,
the ending sequence kind of brought everything home.
It really did. I genuinely didn't expect it.
Yeah, it's just like Fido's perspective of the entire show up until that point.
You get to experience Fido like as a character instead of just, oh, they have a little quirky robot companion. It's like, no, Fido is a full-fledged character.
And that only makes it sad because it looks like at the end he gets destroyed.
Yeah, Fido blows up.
Also, I really like another good thing about like really good shot compositions when he goes and he shoots the wounded legion that they find, and then it cuts immediately to the dead boar, like the hole in its head.
I think that was an elephant.
Hole in the skeleton, or yeah, I thought it was a boar, but yeah, the elephant with the hole in its skull.
I can tell you exactly why I think that was an elephant, and it's because people are stupid. So, like a long time ago, someone was digging somewhere and they found what they advertised as a cyclops skeleton, a cyclops skull, and they just went around and they showed everyone. They were like, "Hey, check out this badass cyclops skull."
Oh, is that just how elephant skulls are?
Yep, that giant hole is where the trunk goes.
Ah, that would make sense.
That's their big old nose hole, dude.
I guess that makes more sense than having a boar at a zoo too.
Yes.
But yeah, and then the shots where it's them talking and it's kind of them, it keeps cutting to them from like behind the cage, like each of their faces. It's a solid production. And I feel really like this is probably going to be really good for fans of this light novel because they got a really good show made out of it, where a lot of other light novels you just get, it's okay.
Yeah. You can point really to this.
They use their medium to their advantage.
Exactly. It feels like they looked at the light novel and they were like, this is very good. Let's see how we can expand upon this material. We're not just going to adapt it. We're going to try and really just expand upon it to make it really fit the medium. And they did a good job. They just did a good job at the end of the day.
And I like how we see different sides of Shin this episode.
Shin laughs. Shin has fun.
And they all mention that he's cracking jokes and stuff. And I really like the slow pace of this episode, where we didn't cut back and forth between what Lena's doing or anything. We just focused on the 86s now in the former Empire territory.
Yeah, I think that format kind of worked for this part of the story, because it would be, I don't know, there's something that just feels better about the fact that we get this kind of uninterrupted chill episode where we just get to see everyone almost kind of relaxing. Like, this is the first time they've really been able to relax.
Yeah, and it's nice. I like the scene where they're at the beginning, where it's just kind of a montage of them relaxing, and they are staying in some little bunker area, and then they all turn off, like, they turn out their fire because they can see, or Shin can sense that the Legion is coming, and it looks really cool to just see the giant line of them going down the road.
Yeah, it's a good visual.
A lot of good visuals.
I think it's just solid.
And Raiden's starting to notice that it feels like Shin's lost kind of a goal and a purpose.
Which is true, because he really has.
He killed his brother, that was his big goal, and they're kind of free now. They don't have to go back, and he doesn't really... They mentioned what he told the Major, what he planned on doing when he got out. Never really thought about it.
I mean, you can't blame him, because it's like, these people were part of a unit that was... It was the execution squad. They weren't supposed to survive, and yet they kind of have for a little bit. I want to know what they're going to do.
Yeah. I really like the cast.
Me too.
And again, that last sequence was really good.
Yeah,
like how we see all the people. And I like how they show all the people that ended up dying along the way, and then after, like, they have their final, like, scene, it shows the next one is either Shin, like, executing them or showing Fido their dog tag thing.
Yeah. Because Fido was there the whole time. Because, like, Shin kind of, I guess, rescued him, I guess you can say. And he's just stuck with him ever since. And that's why they can he can talk to and understand Fido. And looks like Fido's going to be joining people on the field in the OP.
And that's sad, because Fido had all those memories saved up.
Yep. Fido, much like Shin, was carrying the memories of everyone who was lost.
I imagine they're probably going to end up running into someone from, like, another country at some point and probably end up joining with them, or, like, maybe survivors of the Empire.
That's what I would think, but I'm honestly not sure. Because, like, it seems like this show likes to prove me wrong when it comes to my predictions, so I'm not going to make another one.
I think, yeah, because they mentioned that there's other countries out there. Because I think for the most part, maybe the Legion is focused on fighting the Republic, because they were originally at war with the Republic, so it's just kind of, going through the motions of continuing that battle. So maybe they're ignoring the other places because they're too focused on taking down the Republic, like they originally were supposed to do.
I think that would make sense.
Because they mentioned how a lot of people in the Empire, after when the Legion went crazy and went rogue, left.
Yeah.
Because that scene when they were using the stove, they were talking about that.
Yeah, because they just, like, left everything.
Yeah, because if a giant army of killer robots were coming, you'd probably not take everything either.
Yeah, I'd only leave with basically what I could carry, too.
Yeah. But we'll see what happens, because we have one more episode left, I think.
Yes, because this was episode 10, and there's 11 episodes.
I am hoping for a season 2 announcement at the end of that.
Me too. I would watch a season 2.
There has to be.
There's too much left undone, I would say.
This is a strong candidate for me for anime of the season.
Me too, I think. Because it's been pretty solid all the way through, and I'd say the final like couple episodes so far have been really just
It really progressively improved for me, because the first couple of episodes I was like, I get it, guys, the show is about racism.
And then it kind of isn't about racism.
Then it's just like, kind of about a lot of stuff. I think I think it still is, but the way it's addressed is really interesting, because they, kind of, they don't brush by, they don't make Lena's whole thing, oh, she's so good and perfect because she is one of her people that is not a racist. Like, no, she's systematically racist and doesn't even know it.
Yes. It's willing to address it in a different way.
Yeah. She thinks she's helping by being nice, and that's not really helping.
No, it's more being condescending than anything.
Yeah, and the show doesn't shy away from that.
Nope. I like that.
Because too many things do that, where it's like, this is about racism, but if you're nice, then it's not a problem.
And I feel like that only kind of serves to perpetuate racism in a way, because it's like,
or it promotes doing the minimum effort.
Yeah, because it's like, I just have to be nice and then everything will be okay. And it's like, well, no. That is overly simplistic of a view.
I have a coworker that says a bunch of racist things to one of my other coworkers, but I tell my coworker nice things instead of stopping the other guy. So I'm helping.
Yeah.
Even though I guess that wouldn't work at a company. You'd be if there was a dude saying racist stuff, he would be thrown the fuck out.
One would hope.
I guess it depends on your company and where you're located.
Yeah. Well, no, because I was going to say, I think you could probably get away with that, because my HR department really hates any kind of confrontation. But I'll never forget the time that a guy that this is the tale of a man I call QAnon John.
Oh, no.
He asked the Jewish guy, he asked the Jewish guy if he believed in the Holocaust. That's a thing he asked him. And naturally this led to a very heated argument. Understandably.
That's
right?
That's like if I was saying to someone, do you believe in 9/11? You don't think that was doctored footage?
As much as I hate to say it, there are those people out there too. And a lot of them are the same.
They're all QAnon John.
They're all QAnon. Guys, don't be QAnon John. Like, for real. He's one of the few people. I'm going to let you know
a little hint. I don't know. Living life angry isn't as fun as living life not angry. It's like so much easier to just not be angry.
Just don't be angry. It is literally so much easier.
It's just, it takes less time, less energy.
You can focus on doing other things. Read a book.
Yeah, just a big waste of time.
Watch 86. Instead of being angry, you could watch 86. That is a much better use of your time.
Yeah. You know what else is a good use of your time? Watching Shadow's House.
I'd say that's also a very good use of your time. And holy shit.
Yeah, they passed the debut, but this episode was mostly an explanation episode for how the Shadow House works and how shadows work. Because Kate and Emilico, they pass because they only have 10 minutes left, but they turn the wagon into a makeshift boat and have it go down the river. And they have Kate propel it sort of with her soot, and Emilico steers, and they make it back just in time.
And you called it Shirley and Rum don't make it.
Yep. Because Shirley and Rum are the only ones that fail, and all the other shadows succeed. And then they're given an adult drink. It's dark, and it turns out it's coffee. But here's the thing. When you start drinking coffee, you become a jaded adult that's part of the system. When you drink coffee, you're in the system now. You can't escape. You have to have coffee every day.
That's how it be.
That's me every day when I wake up. My eyes look just like that after I drink my coffee.
Just the jittering, like, pure black.
Yeah. And I really like this scene because it turns out what the coffee does is it makes the dolls subservient and worship the grandfather and basically not question anything.
And that's what we saw them drinking at, like, the scene in episode 1 where they were like, drink this.
I really like, too, how all of the dolls are all of the Shadow Masters look kind of, they looked unnerved by it. They don't seem to like it because for most of them, they're all sort of irregular and they like talking to their dolls as individuals. At least everyone but Louise seems to, because Patrick relies on Ricky to handle everything. Ricky's the brains of Ricky and Patrick's operation. So without Ricky, Patrick's kind of weak. And John's not that type of guy anyway. John's like, hey, Sean, what? Sean? And Sean, of course, is just like,
Sean!
Head empty, no thoughts. And Emilico, too. And I feel like those three are going to get together and be like, yo, we want our dolls to be back to normal.
I think I know how they're going to do it, too.
Use their soot powers to take the soot out.
Yes, I think Kate's going to be the key to that.
Because there's a sad moment where Emilico Kate at the end talks about how it's sad that Shirley and Rum failed, and she's like, hey, you were friends with Rum. Are you sad? She's like, yeah, it's pretty sad. But dolls that fail have to be disposed of. That's the will of Lord Grandfather. And her eyes are just all like, and she's got that creepy smile.
It's wicked creepy.
And Kate doesn't like that, because Kate reveals early in this episode that the reason she gave Emilico such a different name is because she didn't want her to be like her. She wanted her to be an individual. Which
is a very interesting point of view for a shadow, because we learn that the shadows are fae spirits.
Yep, they are actually little fae spirits that are basically polymorphs.
Yeah, the whole process is like, basically they wipe a human and then put them in the same room with one of the... They have a different name, but basically one of the shadows that picked them. Because it turns out they don't make the dolls look like the shadows. The shadows make themselves look like the dolls.
Yeah, and so the shadows have to develop a personality, and then after they develop a personality, then they take over once they get strong enough, they take over the full body of the face.
And that's a little hard.
Like how we see Edward work, where they basically become one.
Yeah. And that becomes harder to do if your face starts to have, like, individual thoughts.
Yeah, you can't have the face be an individual, but there's also a problem. This was Shirley's problem. She had no personality.
Yeah, because Rum, basically, her and Rum never talked to each other, so she didn't develop a personality. So she
started to develop one at the end, but it was already too late.
Yeah, and so she just fucking dissolves. Just falls apart into ash, into soot, and blows away in the wind. It's very kind of disturbing.
Yeah, and just that scene where Rum is holding her hand, but it's not connected to her body anymore.
Yeah, and she, like, falls down and chunks start falling off and just blowing away.
And apparently their plan for Rum is to make her one of the Veiled dolls. So now we find out what the Veiled dolls are. They're essentially the dolls of the shadows that failed. And I'm assuming they're hyped up on coffee and are just essentially drones.
Yeah. Which I think that's better than, what I thought they were going to do, which is, like, kill them and dump them in a gorge.
Also, this episode solidified the fact that I like Edward.
Yeah,
I like how he's going to stick around as the main villain because they put him in charge of the children's ward. But I like how he wants to get rid of all the other Shadow Masters on the third floor because he believes he is the only person fit to serve Lord Grandfather.
I think that's a cool motivation.
Yeah. Cool motive, still murder.
Edward is on nobody's side. Edward is on Edward's side, basically.
Yeah. I've always liked crony characters that are doing anything to work their way up.
This dude cronies so fucking hard.
Also, I like how I kind of like some of the Shadow Masters, like that Ryan guy, just in the sense of that I want to see him get taken down.
Yeah, Ryan's a big asshole.
I want to see Edward take down the Shadow Masters, and then the kids take down Edward.
And then Grandfather is just kind of like, what a good show. We've done it.
We truly have become Shadow's house.
I like it. I did not expect just a full plot dump episode where it was like, hey, here's how everything works.
I want to know how many episodes Shadow's house is going to be.
Me too.
I'm actually going to look it up. Because what episode was this? This was like 9 or 10, right?
Yeah, I think this was 10. I can look at that.
It'll be 13.
13? I'm chill with that. Yeah, this was episode 10. So there's 3 more. And I'm cool with that.
Maybe they'll take down Edward in 3 episodes. Who knows?
I kind of hope not, because I like Edward, but I'd also like to see...
I might read the manga for this after, just because I'm more inclined to read a manga for something than a light novel, just because I can blow through manga really quick.
Yeah.
I'm not like a slow reader. I can read a light novel. I've read several light novels. But it has to really grip me. 86 manga, I might actually read, because 86 is such a good adaptation, though, that if they're making a season 2, I'd rather just watch it.
Me too.
But there are some where it's like, yeah, I'll read that. Like
I would read Shadow's House.
Yeah, but that's a manga, so that's easier.
Yeah.
But
and
I
like the visuals too.
Like, one of my favorite light novels is World End. What will you do at the end of the world? Are you busy? Will you save us? Because the anime only covers the first 3 volumes, so I read volume 5 and 6 and was like, this is so good. And now they got Tsukamoka, which is the sequel series.
Oh. That doesn't feel like a title we could make a meme out of.
It's also super long. I don't know what the English version of that one is.
The full title. The paragraph.
World End. What do you do at the end of the world? May I meet you once again?
Yeah.
That's the sequel series.
That's the good shit.
Yeah. World End. What do you do at the end of the world? May I meet you once again is the sequel to What do you do at the end of the world? Are you busy? Will you save us?
I love it because it's a question. Like, are you busy? Will you save us?
I had to join a Discord channel just to get through, because they have a Discord for the people translating it. So I'm like, when you guys making new chapters? I want to see the chapters.
Hey, come on, where's the chapters at?
Because they haven't announced localization officially. Come on.
All right, pepperonis.
They did all of What Will You Do at the End of the World? Are You Busy? Will You Save Us? But they haven't done What Will You Do at the End of the World? Can I Meet You Once Again? They haven't done that one yet.
One day.
One day.
We'll get there.
Someday soon.
Much like we'll get to Higehiro.
Yeah, we'll get to Higehiro. So in this episode, there's an emergency, but there's not an emergency because there's never an emergency.
Of course not.
He thinks, oh, Sayu is missing, but she wasn't missing. She just walked to his work. And then his friend I didn't like this scene with his friend because his friend... They keep trying to sell us on their friendship when all he is like this dude at the office that occasionally is like, hey, you should be careful with that high school girl you're taking in. You seem to really care about that high school girl. And then they're driving in the car and he's like, you know what, that part of you really pisses me off. You just don't know what you want.
Yeah, for someone who's his friend, like, he never talks to him unless it's plot relevant.
Or he's at work. He never hangs out with them outside of work.
Is only when it's convenient. That's how true friendships work. Only out of convenience.
Also, his friend has a pretty nice car and drives to work.
Yeah.
They have the same position. Why does he take the train?
Of them... Actually, yeah, just, you know what? It'd be cheaper to take the train, too. Save you a lot of money.
Yeah. I'm more curious about this dude's car and his financial situation.
When are we going to get the spinoff about his best friend's car?
I shaved and then took home a new Lamborghini.
Guinea.
New Guinea.
I shaved and took home a new Guinea.
New Guinea. I took my New Guinea to Papua New Guinea.
I took my New Guinea, but you know what's better than my New Guinea? Knowledge.
Papua New Guinea.
Papua New Guinea. That meme will never die because it's hilarious every time.
I don't know if that when they're discussing, like, you should go to Hokkaido with her. I don't know if they're saying he should move there, or...
I think he just means, like,
oh, just
take
go
her
make sure
home.
she's okay. It's like,
yeah.
But work, the project.
We'll just have Kohai do that.
And everyone's like, yeah, go, chase after her, make sure she's okay.
I will say
everyone's
that
gone
part...
from being like about, oh man, you and like this show, everyone is super cool with the idea of, I mean, if you like the high school girl, you like the high school girl. Can't fight it.
I like that scene for one specific reason, and it's because of how fed up his quote-unquote friend is, to where he's like, no, I'm going to solve all of your excuses in 2.5 seconds. Because I'm fucking done. We're doing this, dude. That made me chuckle. I don't think it was supposed to, but it did.
Yeah. I don't know. This episode was like everything else, inconsequential.
Yeah.
And, he has a conversation with the brother, which, of course, the brother's cool, so there's no real issue between them. It's like, so my sister's been at your house. Why'd you take her in? 'Cause she's cute? Ha! What an honest answer.
I like that. You know, I don't know if I would have taken that answer quite as gracefully as he did.
Have you ever thought of continuing the Ogiwa bloodline?
He just turns into Silver Ash.
And Chris Redfield. Ethan just fucked my sister.
Ethan. Doctor. You need to fill my sister with your seed. Doctor.
She needs your daily dose. Then there's, at the end of the episode, they sleep at the same bed.
Yeah, but it's fine. It's not like a... It's
totally
not like a
platonic.
Thing. Yeah, it's a whole lot of nothing.
And you know what? This show's probably going to end with a whole lot of nothing. Let me guess, they're going to go meet the mom and it's going to be fine.
I watched the next episode because I was curious.
Oh yeah, it's already out, I forget, by the time we're recording this.
It is.
Is there conflict?
I'm hesitant to say yes, because it does what it's done every episode.
Resolve
so
the
far.
conflict within the same episode?
It has resolved a conflict presented in the episode, and then it leaves on a cliffhanger of potentially more conflict.
And then we will solve the conflict very quickly.
Yes, that's what I'm anticipating. If that's not what happens, it will blow my mind.
The show ends, it's just like, with conflict, and the conflict cannot be resolved.
I'd be stunned. I'd be like, This is the first different thing you guys have ever done. You broke your own formula for the final episode.
I don't think it'll do that. But
I don't
speaking of
think it'll
ending
do
on
that.
conflict, Zombieland Saga.
Yeah, it does.
So the Saga incident behind us. Now we're on to them redoing their show at EMS, and the first half of the episode is them showing sort of how it led them to that point.
We get like a kind of like a series recap that covers the stuff,
which is weird because the original performance they did was like March 8th, 2019, and then their revenge thing was supposed to be slated for March 8th, 2020. And I'm pretty sure that's around the time COVID started. Except in this, an earthquake happens or something. I'm not sure if that was like meant to be connected in any sort of thematical way. We were supposed to have our big revenge tour concert that was supposed to fill a stadium, but something major happened that made it so we couldn't fill that stadium.
I don't know.
Because I've been thinking about that. I'm like, is this supposed to be an allegory for COVID killing concerts?
Maybe?
Because they specifically said it in this. I don't know. I think it's weird to specifically go out of your way to address the time that it takes place.
Yeah.
Because the original season, I don't think, said what year it was.
I don't think so. It was just kind of like, quote-unquote, modern.
Yeah, because you could have had it be 2018 and then the revenge be 2019. But no, you did 2020, specifically March, where the pandemic hit.
That would make sense.
I don't know. But yeah, so we get the guy who wants to expose this whole thing. And
he's kind of an asshole.
Yeah. Because he's like, you can't just be dragging around the dead like that. Bruh. And we get to, also Tatsumi is not the same guy from Yugiri's past.
Yeah,
he's just a dude that ended up finding the old necromancer dude.
Yeah, and they just, which means Yugiri was already around and was probably the first member of this group.
I'm pretty sure Yugiri was raised by the necromancer.
Yes, she's been around for a long time.
I also really love the part where at the beginning it shows him Tatsumi wake up in the ocean. Like he's on the shore, he washes up, and he ends up walking away, and the assistant newspaper guy's like, hey, you want to go track down that elusive Squid Man story?
No. And then it turns out he doesn't need to try to track down the Squid Man.
He's looking at the same guy.
When I first saw that, my first impression was like, oh, this is right before we get like drunk sad Tatsumi at the bar. Nope, this is post flashback Tatsumi.
That's and when he shows up into the concert or into the room where they all do like their morning briefings, they're like, what happened to you? He's like, irrelevant.
It's good shit.
But yeah, they're going to try to perform at EFS again, but I'm pretty sure this earthquake has destroyed everything because this is what the old man has called the saga-destroying incident. The premonition he had.
Yeah, we get a lot of, like, prophecy lore drops, which is a little strange. I did not anticipate, like, hey, there's been this overarching threat of disaster the entire time.
But maybe at the end of the I feel like next episode they're going to end up they're going to save Saga, but maybe they won't do it with music. They'll do it with their bodies.
They'll do it with their hard, undead bodies. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, it'll work. I don't know, because we're nearing the end of that too. We're nearing the end of everything.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be the end of the Zombieland Saga.
This is the end of the Zombieland Saga.
The Zombieland Saga.
I feel like, yeah, it is the end just because we've gone through everybody's character stories now.
Yep.
Except Tay.
I'm calling it final episode. Tay is gonna speak
The final episode, Yamada
because
Tay.
she's been slowly like gaining, I'll call it sentience over time. She's been like showing hints of it because she's actually the one who rallies everyone.
Yeah,
Because
and they're like, Tay's right. We
Yeah.
shouldn't give up. Also, I love how she comes in, she buys her own food. They're like, Tay bought her own food, and she did it with Tatsumi's money from like a can that says, please do not touch.
Yeah, she takes his money and puts on like really crappy looking makeup by herself.
Just to go buy squid,
Yes.
like dried squid.
Tay needs some dried squid. You can't just have a Tay and not have any dried squid. She gets antsy.
You cannot do it.
You cannot do it.
You cannot do it. You know who can't do something?
I feel like this is a segue to Iruma, but I don't know.
Iruma can't study.
Oh, that's right. He's bad at demon school.
Yep, and it's fair because it's not even like he's bad. It's just unintelligent. He's like, they're like, Iruma, can you even read? He's like, because of Sullivan's ring, he can read. It translates the demon or Sullivan's magic. It translates the demon language for him. However, all of the questions are culturally completely out of his field.
Yes, not having grown up as a demon, he does not understand any of it on like a practical level.
It's like, what was the third demon king of Beelzebub's favorite torture device? Why would he know that?
It was obviously his tongue remover.
But they find he's good at one thing: animal facts.
Iruma is good at anything that has to do with the human world, which should surprise absolutely no one.
It's like, how many wings do humans have? None.
None.
I'm like, damn, he's good.
Damn, this guy's pretty good.
Damn,
we also meet a new teacher. We meet a new teacher, and
who apparently is the substitute teacher for the history teacher, because the history teacher is going through his evil cycle. And this guy is the one that wrote the book that Iruma was using to study.
A book that sprouted arms and legs and like sentience and quizzed Iruma.
And he has vine powers, it looks like, so he catches them all and then is like, I'm looking forward to having some new students. Ooh.
This guy was basically like demonic plant caustic from Apex Legends, the evil science guy with the gas mask. That's all I could think of listening to this dude talk. They sound so similar.
I don't know anyone from Apex Legends besides the one guy that can only say that one thing. You got bamboozled.
You got bamboozled.
They bamboozled us.
Yeah, that guy is Chris Redfield from RE5.
He punches
That's the
boulders?
same voice actor. How
Does he
crazy
punch
is that?
Can this guy punch boulders?
I mean, probably not like super well. But yeah, we meet the new crazy, weird, eccentric teacher.
And I really like how everyone in the class is devoted to studying because they want to be degenerates on their summer break. So they don't want to have to take rudimentary lessons.
It's an admirable goal, I'd say.
Even Jazz.
Even Jazz. And like, Asmodeus and Clara try to help Iruma. Oh yeah, by the way, Clara knows everything more than Iruma. Even Clara gets better scores than he does.
Yeah, hers are still average, but they're better.
Feels bad, man.
Also, I like how Asmodeus is basically in his mind, he's like, I saw the future. Iruma's meant to be the Demon King.
Asmodeus is sold on it.
He is simped even harder. He was already simping, but now he's not just simping for just regular Iruma. He is simping for future Demon King Iruma.
You love to see it. But yeah, we just kind of get a lot of studying, and we get a lot of like, we meet this new teacher. It introduces this new teacher.
Yeah. Also, if they pass their test, they'll go up a rank, and every time he goes up a rank, his ring gets stronger. So we'll see what happens to Allie.
And he's worried that if he gets demoted because he flunks all his tests, that Allie might not be around anymore.
Yeah, because if he goes back down, he might like poof out of existence.
Yeah, that's a problem. That's pretty much it, I think.
Yeah.
It's a cool episode. I'm looking forward to seeing more of this weird new teacher. I like him.
I have no strong opinions on him yet.
I think he just looks cool, and I can't help it. When a teacher looks cool, I want to know more.
I want to know.
But if you guys want to know, and you want to stay tuned, then subscribe to the podcast. Subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe. It's right there. Press the button.
Press the button.
What are you waiting for?
Literally right there. Just press the button. If you want updates on when we go live, you can follow us on social media as well as all other platforms.
Twitter and Facebook. We update there.
We do. And like Spotify and Deezer and iHeartRadio, you know the spiel. You know the list. We do the list like every time.
You know.
And
you know. I know. You die. I dead.
But yeah, thanks for hanging out. The OP is made by Popskyy. Stuff's in the description below. Thanks for hanging out. We hope to see you again next week. Stay tuned. Make sure your notifications are turned on whatever platform or whatever to get notified about when new episodes go up. That's all we got for you. Class dismissed.